What's up, guys? Back to Biased MMA. Now, let's talk a bit about the fight between Tom Aspinall and John Jones. It needs to happen. I need to see John Jones get sparked out cold because I hate him. He's a vile human being. I know he's trying to improve, but like after 30 times, you can't really forgive a guy. So, he's genuinely a bad person, beats his wife, does drugs. I didn't consider him the GOAT because he did drugs and was caught in one of his biggest fights of his career against Daniel Cormier in the second fight. And that's just scummy stuff. I believe if you misuse steroids to win fights, it's horrible because you're literally fighting and it could have negative impacts on your opponent's life because you are using drugs and it's unfair. Now, I believe Tom Aspinall will be the one to beat John Jones if they fight. I think his boxing is too much, his wrestling is too much, his physicality is too much, and I believe he will destroy him when they fight, if they fight, because John Jones is ducking, and it's quite annoying. So let's talk about the fight and how I believe Tom Aspinall can secure his fight in his next fight and what he needs to do to get his fight. Now, the first thing he obviously needs to do is to beat Blades in extreme fashion. This needs to be the most unfair fight you've ever seen for this fight even to be considered because John Jones is ducking and is afraid of Tom Aspinall. Now, I do believe Tom Aspinall is going to wipe the floor with Blades, but I can also see a world where it's a much closer fight. In those first few minutes or seconds of the first fight, where unfortunately Thomas had the injury, it was looking to be a bit of a more competitive fight. But I trust in Curtis Blades' fight IQ to lead him to get knocked out because he always keeps standing with guys with a lot of power, like Pavlovich, like Derek Lewis, instead of going for a takedown. And I believe even if Curtis Blades gets the takedown, Tom Aspinall's just too physical. He's the best heavyweight physically we've seen, except like Chilton Almeida. And I believe he will have enough power to get off of the ground if it leads to that in their fights. And I believe Tom Aspinall is a much better striker. He's quick. He's literally a welterweight at heavyweight with his speed. So I believe he's going to knock out Curtis Blades in the first or second round in spectacular fashion, and that needs to happen. He needs to get a lot of hype from this fight. So, and not a lot of people are probably going to watch this card because Bilal Muhammad and Leon Edwards are on it, because a lot of people are casuals and think they're boring fighters. They do have a more boring style, but it doesn't make them boring. I'm quite excited for that fight. A video will later be on them. But yeah, Tom Aspinall needs to completely wipe the floor with him and make it look unfair, which he has done in all of his fights. I mean, he's finished every fight. He just wiped the floor with the previous scariest guy in the division. Now he's coming off a bad Volkov loss as well, which took a lot of stock from Pavlovich, but I still believe he's one of the best heavyweights we have currently. And we all saw what happened when Volkov and Aspinall fought. So I believe he will get this done. This is the easiest part of this whole plan I have because Tom Aspinall is truly a great fighter. Now, the second thing Tom Aspinall needs to do is a post fight interview. Now, Tom Aspinall is a very humble person. He is not really a trash talker, but he needs to be one if he really wants this fight. Now, he needs to go out there, spark Curtis Blades, and in the post fight interview, call out John Jones, like something like Diaz did. Fuck McGregor, you're taking everything I'm working for. Something like that. We need that for John Jones to even consider this fight. We need Tom Aspinall to be the aggressor. He needs to call out John Jones, call him a fake champion because he's not just ducking the best competition. He's tell the crowd like he's the only champion in UFC history who is not fighting the interim champ. They fight someone who's 40 years old, got knocked out 4 years ago, and he is the heavyweight goat, but he's not in the same position as Aspinall to fight John Jones. And everyone's saying, oh, John Jones is too old. He's the same age as Alex Pereira, and we're seeing what Alex Pereira is doing to everyone in his division. So it's a stupid excuse. Literally half of the champions John Jones has fought in his career was the age that he is now. So was it an unfair fight? No, it wasn't. He's just complaining and making excuses to duck Tom Aspinall. Now, yeah, he needs to be very aggressive on the mic, call out John Jones, insult him, provoke the ego of John Jones, call him the fake champ, because we all know John Jones has an insane ego because he fights with people on Twitter. He can. The man's ego is literally insane. You can jump off it and probably die. So yeah, Tom Aspinall definitely needs to provoke John Jones in a big way after the fight, make a statement through a knockout, and then make the actual statement calling out John Jones, calling him for a fraud that he's busy being. He's still the GOAT, but he's busy being a wuss in fighting, and everyone hates a wuss in fighting, so Tom Aspinall needs to make the post-fight interview very entertaining, very quick, very brash, straight to the point, calling out John Jones. So he really needs to do this to get that fight. Otherwise, it won't happen. If Aspinall goes out there like his normal post-fight interviews and just is being nice and says, you know, I want that John Jones fight, then he's not gonna get it because John Jones doesn't care. He's focused on his legacy now, and he knows Tom Aspinall's the scariest fight he can take at the moment. So I genuinely believe Tom Aspinall should do this. Now, do I believe John Jones will man up and actually take the fight? No, I don't. I think he's going to duck Aspinall, leave with a belt after fighting Stipe Miocic, and yeah, and then everyone will forever question Tom Aspinall as their champ because, oh, he didn't beat the real champ. Well, the real champ ducked him, so that's why he couldn't be the real champ. If you really think Tom Aspinall is not the champ at the moment, you're delusional. Jamal Hill, Yuri Pascal both had the same extent of injury as John Jones, and they vacated the belt because they know the division needs to move on. They're not egotistical like this man right here. And John Jones should have done the same. He's been out for almost like a year now. Hasn't fought, he's keeping up the division, called out someone who wasn't currently in that division, as he was retired and firefighter. So this is honestly a bad situation for Stipe because obviously he wants the fight. It's the biggest fight he can make. It's a lot of money, and we can't really take that away from him. But he should have been fighting in the first place is Tom Aspinall because he's the deserving contender. He's beating everyone in his way in the first round. So it's really unbelievable to me that the GOAT is ducking a contender, bro. Like, seriously, what happened to the John Jones, the killer we all knew? That was just ducking and wanting a free retirement. He's the first fighter in UFC history who's going to do this. Who's going to end up retiring as a champ without fighting the interim contender. First one. So, yeah, it's been good, guys. It's been Biased MMA, and I hope you all enjoyed that. See you in the next video.